Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for episode 125 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Tim Jennette, the Middle Meeple, and I'm joined by my co-host,
George Breden.
And in this episode, we talk about the board games Dungeon Draft, Four Gardens, and Red Rising, and much more. Intern Alexa, ask a random question.
Here's a question for you. What is the most embarrassing thing you have ever worn?
Embarrassing thing we've ever worn. I have one, and I'm actually kind of scared to say this story, but actually, you know what? No, I have a few. I'll start. I don't know if you're prepared for this or not. But
Probably not. No, nobody's prepared for this.
Okay, yeah, no one. That's not a thing you just go around thinking about.
Yeah.
The first thing is I was coerced into dressing up for the Rocky Horror Picture Show, so in drag. That was interesting. I was probably 20, 19 maybe. I'm pretty sure it was in high school, maybe right after high school. No, we'll just go with that one. That's the one I'm going to stay with. There was one. Okay, I'll just say it. When I was younger, and I was in like 8th grade, I was wearing some shorts, but they were really short. And I guess I didn't really understand how short they were until I was in school. And I was like, man, I just felt uncomfortable the whole day. It was pretty, it wasn't like Daisy Dukes or anything like that, but I didn't feel comfortable wearing them because of how short they were. And I don't know if I grew, and then those are shorts I had for a few years and I just hadn't worn them for a while. And I was digging through the drawers,
Right. Yeah.
But I remember that. That's like one of the traumatic things I remember about school. Although no one really even said anything.
That's a pretty bad one. Man.
And it's 8th grade. That's like the worst year to do it.
Yeah.
Because middle school is horrid. Well, middle school is horrible.
I don't know if it's the worst year. Like if you'd done it in 9th grade, that'd be worse, because then you'd be in high school. Like you'd be remembered for that in high school for your whole high school. Right. Well,
I said 8th grade. I actually meant 7th. It was the middle of middle school.
Oh, so you had to get through the rest of middle school that way. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it didn't matter. All my people that I was in school with went from kindergarten all the way to my senior class, basically.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Not my actual classmates, but like the 200 people that was in the graduating class, which might be why I didn't get any flack for it. You know what I mean? Or anybody just teasing me or whatever. Cause most people knew me, and everybody knew each other. So it was very unlikely. It's almost like my class, the people that were going through the school system with me didn't really do anything to each other. It was most likely like making fun of like the classes below you.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we've known each other for like 10 years at that point. It's not like you're going to a different school and a ton of new people and all that stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah. That makes a difference for sure.
It does. Yeah.
What
about you?
I had the thing where I was moving around. My dad was the Air Force, so we moved around. And so it was always, not always, but pretty often it was a new school, but I'm going to
make a prediction. Was it a kilt? No, I'm just kidding.
It was not. No, it was actually I'm sure there's more embarrassing things that I could mention that I'm not going to because this is a family show, but, there was a suit. It was a suit that I wore, I think 8th grade. 8th grade is a bad year, man. Cause we're both around that same time frame. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was like to a school dance or whatever. And this suit was like light baby blue, like bird
like
egg
a color
blue.
that people would make fun of for not being manly type of deal.
Just to begin with. Yeah. But then you don't wear a suit like that, and it was kind of like polyester, like plastic. Like it was terrible.
It sounds kind of funny though.
Yeah.
Like if you were taking it seriously, then I can see people not saying fun things, but if you're like being a comic,
right. But I wasn't the class clown. I was not, so
yeah,
I couldn't pull that off. It was not good.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh man. Fun times.
Good question. I love doing these, intern questions here. It's really funny. Well, anyway, we have not had many days between the last episode and this one because we delayed the last episode's recording day a few days, which takes us really close to recording again. So this part's going to be pretty short. We always talk about what we've been up to between episodes. I'll go real fast.
Sure.
I've been playing more Cat Quest. We made it to the next section of the game. The babysitter came over today to watch the kids, which is the one that plays games with Theron, and he accidentally deleted our game.
Oh, no.
We're going to start over. Luckily, out of the amount of time that we probably played it, it might be like a 3-hour thing. It's not a lot. And the game's only like 10 hours, 12 hours maybe.
Okay.
If you don't do everything in the game, like all the side quests. So I could probably get us back there real quick. But I was like, Theron, I told him, I was like, this is the perfect reason why we need to teach you to read. So if you see the word delete, you know what it means.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. But he extended the game for you.
He did. Yeah, we get to play it longer. But I'll tell you this, though. This is one thing I'm super happy about. He was going on this crazy long explanation of everything we've been doing in the game so far to the babysitter. He is loving this game.
That's awesome.
Not only because, you know, it's cats and he likes animals and stuff, but he loves stories. And I never really thought about this, but I think RPGs, maybe the action ones, not the turn-based, because he likes to move around and do things. I don't think the turn-based is for him now, but maybe later.
Right.
But this is an action RPG, and I think that really is going to be a good, you know, compromise for him, or like not compromise, but a great genre for him because he loves story and he loves running around and doing stuff, especially if it's cute.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm really happy. And you know, actually, I was going to tell you this, but I'll tell you that on the podcast. I think this might be a game that you and Kat should try.
Okay. But
it's called
we have to get a Switch?
No. It's on the computer.
Oh.
It's called Cat Quest 2. I'm pretty sure it's on the computer. I don't remember. You have to look. But what's really cool about it is, one, it is actually challenging. So, or you can choose to do just story mode only, or story mode, which means it's less challenging, but you're just playing through it casually.
Okay.
It's really good co-op, because when you play it, it's 2 players. So you have to set it up as co-op or single. If you play it single, you can just switch between the characters. But if you're playing it co-op, you each control one of the characters and you kind of have to specialize a little bit. So he's kind of like the mage, so he can stay away from things and shoot. And I run in there and hack and slash, but
that's cool. Yeah. I think we would enjoy that.
Yeah.
And neither one of us are that good. We're actually both pretty bad at video games. So,
well, I remember you talking about Magicka, and it's basically like Magicka as far as like control scheme.
Oh, okay. Brilliant.
Yeah. It's a really good game.
We worked our way. I say we're not good at video games, but Kat and I worked our way through all of Magicka 1, and now we're in the middle of playing Magicka 2. We're having a great time.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's really good. It's right about the right level for us, you know, because
that's fair.
You can make crazy things happen and like just happen to win sometimes.
Yeah.
But also you kill each other so much it doesn't even matter. It's pretty funny.
You can't hurt each other in this one, but when you're playing it, if a boss is too hard, you just go and level up a few, like by going off to the side dungeons and stuff. And then you come back and you can kind of beat it with some moderate skill.
Okay. Oh, it sounds good for us. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you might really enjoy this one.
Yeah. And we know Kat will because it's about cats.
Cats. One of you is a cat and one of you a dog.
Okay.
The white one's a dog. The orange one's a cat.
Perfect.
Other than that, I got some board games. I went to half price and bought Shadows over Normandy for $10, shrink wrapped. I'm never going to play this game, but it's heavy and it was $10. Ironically, I was reading the Dice Tower for Facebook group and somebody put like this flow chart and was like, here's how I decide new games. Like I watch a review, I read the rule book, I do this and do this. It's like, what kind of things do you do to go through buying a game?
Man,
and I was like, I do some of that, but typically if it's a heavy game that's on sale, it gets bought. I was like, there is something to say about a heavy game. You look at a game, it's like $10. I'm not that interested in it. You pick it up and it weighs like 3 or 4 pounds. You're like, okay. I'm way more interested in this before I picked it up.
Oh, that's hilarious. I've never considered that.
You don't?
No, the actual physical weight of a game has never entered my mind. That's hilarious.
Dude, all the time. If I'm at Gen Con or a convention or a thrift store or, half price books or anything, if it weighs a lot, it's like a 25 to 50% like appreciation rate.
Oh, that's funny.
This game's heavy. I'm buying it.
There was a booth at Gen Con one year. I don't remember. It was so many years ago, but it was somebody selling games the game was called Box of Rocks. And it literally was. Like, you would have loved it. It was a box of rocks. Like,
no, I'm not like that.
It was pretty heavy.
Yeah, but if it's actual rocks, was it a game?
I think it was like a dexterity game.
Oh, maybe I would have bought it then. If it's an actual game and not just them being stupid,
I don't think it was a good game. I never, I can't really comment. It looked like it wasn't a good game, but what do I know?
Well, let's put it this way. There was another game they had called Sayabala, I think. It was a Ravensburger game or something.
Yeah.
Sayabala. I don't remember how it's pronounced.
Okay.
I looked at it. It was $15. And I flipped it around, looked at it. I couldn't see anything about it, so I picked it up off the shelf, and it was really heavy. I was like, oh, $15 for this? I'm kind of in. And then I looked at the reviews, and I had a 5.9. I'm like, oh, that's a little too low for me, even though it's heavy. If it was a little bit heavier, it's like I buy stuff that's 6 and above, like in the 6s. I'm okay with buying used and half price and things.
Yeah.
You hit the 7s and on, I'm probably okay with it if it's interesting. Anything below a 6, though. But if it's really heavy, it gets like a 0.5 added to it automatically. Well, anyway, just to finish up, I got from Noble Knight Games, I got Dungeon Draft, which we're going to be talking about in this episode.
Right. Probably
I got a couple.
Like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. Spoiler.
Yeah.
I got a couple of Mage Wars core spell tomes, which is basically a bunch of extra cards. Normally it was $20. You can get online for like 13 or so at the time. $4 a piece. Shrink.
Oh, heck.
Again, I'm just buying more of stuff I already have, but
hey, if it's a deal.
It was a super good deal. I bought the Mage Wars novel, which I never knew it even had a novel.
Have you started reading it?
I don't know if I'll read it. Actually, it's pretty thin. I probably will read that.
Oh, that's right. You don't read. That's right.
Yeah. I just buy novels. And they have 1 cent items. And the way that works is every $15 you spend, you can add one of those penny items. And I got a couple of promos and things like that. But this time what I got.
Hey, wait, I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. For every $15 you spend, it's 1 penny. Like, it's really $15.
Well, like, no, if you spend, like, say my order was $35.
Right.
I've spent 2 times the multiple of 15. So now I can go into their 1 cent page and pick 2 items. And I pay a penny for each one.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying? Like you can't buy them normally, but they're like free, almost like freebies, basically.
All right. That's cool.
The only reason I think they're 1 cent is probably because in their
they got to ring it up.
E-commerce, they can't make it 0.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got a Gloom promo. Let me give it to Eric because he has it, and then I got this, which is odd because I paid a penny for it, but it's a free RPG day module of Keyforge role-playing game.
Whoa. Keyforge.
And it's like maybe 30 or 40 pages. And it's like a 1 hour to 2 hour module that you run 4 players through, like D&D.
Do you play it with Keyforge cards?
No, you use the Genesis system, that role-playing system that Fantasy Flight made. Okay. That they have a couple of different themes for, right? Which it's basically, I think, is the same one that the Star Wars system uses now.
Oh, I was thinking, how cool would it be if you are playing the game and then when you have to do something, they're like, shuffle your deck and draw 3 cards. You know?
Yeah, draw cards. Attack your opponent. Yeah, nah. And then lastly, I drove out to James, a friend of ours and listener to the show.
Friend of the show. Yep.
Yeah. And bought Praga Kaput Regni and the Lander Kickstarter prototype they made for the Kickstarter because he didn't want it. So I bought it from him.
And it was heavy.
And it was super heavy. And you know what? This thing is not a prototype. This is a small print run of a game, dude. Like if I received this after buying it, I would have thought nothing of it. Like that it was a prototype.
Yeah,
it is fantastically made.
Yeah.
Every component in there. I mean, yeah, good job for a canceled Kickstarter.
Yeah,
I don't know if this game's going to come out.
It's a shame it got canceled, but hopefully it's a good game.
They canceled it themselves. It just didn't make a big enough splash. So I think the idea was cancel it and not deal with it anymore, or maybe cancel it, try to jive up some hype and then release it again. I don't think so. I think this is gone. I don't think it's coming back out. I don't think they spent a lot of money trying to advertise and market it in the beginning, and it didn't make as big of an impact as they thought it did. People were saying like they were paying off previewers and stuff a large amount of money to give it really good ratings. And
oh man. Yeah.
I'll try it out and give an honest review of it. I almost feel like it would be cool to do a lot of Kickstarter previews if we played the games and then talk about it. You know, we try to do that sometimes.
Sure. Yeah.
Cause I'm not interested in doing the, pay me to preview your game. Screw you. Like you send me a copy of your game and I'll review it honestly. But I feel like it's disingenuous for me to even if I don't know what I was going to say. Actually, I heard something upstairs and I got distracted.
Like even if you reviewed it and then they paid you later, that kind of thing.
No, like even if they paid me and they were like, here, review and preview our game. I'm like, I don't do previews. I'm not previewing your product. I'm not going to talk about it unless I played it. And if I play it, I'm going to tell you my honest opinion. If a part of it sucks, I'm telling you. And I'm not going to sign some contract that says you can't talk negatively about the game because we paid you. Like, I don't,
Sure.
That's not, number one, that's not why I'm in this media.
I don't know if that's how it works, but I do know there are a lot of people doing paid previews now for Kickstarters, like a lot.
Well, here's the thing. You do a paid preview and the company sends you the game, you play it and you talk trash about it because maybe it actually sucks. People aren't going to, like, that gets around and people aren't going to send you, or they're not going to give you paid preview money to preview their game if you're going to talk trash about it coming out, because that's going to deter customers.
Yeah, see, that's rough.
Right. But I don't care because I have a solid career and I don't need your money. You know what I mean? So if I play your Kickstarter preview on Tabletopia, or you make a tabletop simulator version of it and I play it, I don't care. It's very unlikely that these games, if they are on one of these digital platforms, they're going to change so much before the physical copy gets sent to the backers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's very unlikely. They're like, that game's done. They just need your money so they can print it without any overhead.
Yeah. A lot of these, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, my rant's over. What you been up to?
Well, kind of the same as you have. I've been playing some video games. I've been playing FIFA 21, Red Dead Redemption 2, loving both of those, and Magic 2, having a great time. So, like I say, it's only been 2 days, so I haven't got too much to talk about. But
We can hit the news then?
we can go straight to the news, yeah.
All right, I'll throw one in there real quick, and then you got a bunch of Kickstarters to go over. Epic Game Free Game Thursday was a letdown. It was a mystery game, so they didn't say what was coming up the next week. Got on there before recording, and it's NBA 2K21. I mean, some people might be excited. That's not very exciting to me. I don't like games that expire in 1 year. They're just going to come out with 2022, like in a few months, probably, whatever.
Yeah, and they always do just a little bit of tweaking to it.
Right.
To make it seem like you need another one, but really it's the same game.
They need to come out with like a deathmatch mode in one of the copies, just and not even announce it. Like you get in there and everybody gets armed weapons and it's like a battle royale on the basketball court. It's just bloody and violent. And
so it's like Blood Bowl. You want Blood Bowl.
Well, I guess I can't do that because it would actually change the rating to the game, but it would be so funny. Like, what have they done?
Yeah,
we get tired.
You're right. They could just suddenly get creative with it.
Right. Instead of just taking the exact same game and tweaking the player roster and then selling you the $60 game again.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. People out there really like this stuff. I do not understand that.
FIFA,
that doesn't...
FIFA 2022 with no gravity version.
Yeah, and missiles. Anyway, let's hear about some Kickstarters.
All right. So Kickstarters, this is huge for me. I love this one. I love the concept of it because I'm such a fan of Tim Fowler's games, paperback and hardback. And so this is Paperback Adventures, and you're taking the, sort of the paperback deck building, word building game, but then you're taking it in a roguelike and you're going up against a bunch of, bad guys that are randomly determined based on what genre you're going through. So
like science fiction and
Wild West and, I don't know, whatever, dinosaurs.
Comedy.
Yeah, whatever they're going to come up with, right? Right now, there's just a couple. I think there's 3. I think they're doing 3 right now, but they're going to do more because the Kickstarter has a goal of 30,000. And as of right now, with 18 days to go, it's at 217,000. So
that's cool.
They're going to add more. Don't worry. And it reminds me of playing like a game. I think it was called Bookworm or Bookworm Adventures or something like that, where it was on the computer and it was a roguelike. You go and you just fight things and you go fight another thing, but you do it by spelling words. That was so much fun. And this is going to be like that. It has a 2-player mode, but it's primarily a solo game. But they're building in a 2-player mode, which is great. And you get a character and then a genre that you're going into. So you might have a character that is a rogue, and then you're going to take that thief assassin character and you're going to go into sci-fi world, or whatever you want to do. I just think it'll be a lot of fun.
It sounds pretty neat. I like that system, so.
Yeah. Oh, paperback is fantastic. So there's that. Then we've got Keystone North America, and you are set collecting in various patterns of North American wildlife. So Keystone.
Oh, you're not building pipelines. Gotcha.
No, it's Keystone, like Keystone animals, the most important ones for particular habitat.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it looks pretty, and it's got the whole animal thing that is going for it for me. They also have a solo and 2-player mode in this, and you are I think you're a naturalist who is like, I don't know, you're just starting out your career, and then you play through a bunch of scenarios as you build your career, and you find, new ways to save or discover animals in North America. I don't know. It sounds really interesting. It looks gorgeous. The art is really nice.
Sweet.
Keystone North America. And the next one is called What the What?
What the What?
And it is a game that reminds me a whole lot of a couple of other games that I enjoy. Like Snake Oil, that game where you're a salesman, right? And you have to pitch something to someone.
I immediately got less interested, but keep going.
Okay. Well, this one is a bunch of actual inventions, like actual things that people wanted to invent and then did all the specs and everything for. So that's on the card, and it's from the past 200 years. And then you get prompts, and you choose an invention card to match the prompt that you get. So it might be something that is for people who are brand new at being a villain, or when you.
Oh, so you're pitching a silly object that's already been designed, but you're pitching it to weird customers.
Yeah, and it's a silly object because they're failed inventions. These never caught on, but they were serious at the time, and they're pretty funny. And then there's it might be when you've got tickets to the big event, but there's never any parking. And then you have to use some invention to help you, but you have to pitch it in 30 seconds or whatever. So it's that kind of game. I think those are funny.
Those are the games that sound really funny when you read about them and you buy it. And then when you start playing it, you almost have to have the right people.
No, you absolutely do have to have the right people. You absolutely do. Games like that, Snake Oil and, what's the one? Fun Employed. Those kind of games, they can be fantastic with the right group. I think this is going to be one like that. Yeah, but if you're in the wrong group.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. That's what I was trying to think of. Thank you. Yeah, that one too. Yeah.
I got that.
Definitely that one. But in the wrong group, they're terrible.
Yes. Yeah. Or even if you have the right group, but one person it can't do it very well. You have to, if playing it with improv specialists is the goalpost.
That's true. The stars have to align on that one, but when it does, they're terrific. So What the What? And then the next one is called Pilfering Pandas. Just check this one out just for the art alone. The art is tremendous on this game, I think. The game itself is, when you first start reading about it, it sounds very much like a Rummy variant, but they say it's based on a game called Benny, which is similar but not the same as Rummy. I've never heard of the game Benny myself, but what they've done is they've taken and made a competitive version and a cooperative version of it, as well as a solo version. So 3 separate ways of doing it. And, with the art and quick, it sounds like very, family friendly kind of gameplay. I think this one could be a winner. Pilfering Pandas. Check that one out. And then we've got sort of a bigger production. This is a game called Iced. And this is the one that's got the least amount of time left on it. It's got 10 days left. So By the time this comes out, it'll probably still be up there.
Yeah.
Okay. This is one where you have a board of hexes, but it's several levels deep. So when you dig into the ice, you actually take off a piece, and then there's several pieces below it, and then you have to clear off more ice to get to the next layer.
Are they see-through?
No, unfortunately, they're not see-through. That would be clever. But they are different colors. So you start off with like a white layer, and then blue, and then darker blue, and then brown. And so you dig down and you find artifacts. I guess you're in the far future or something. I don't know. It looks like a...
Is there any sort of, you can kind of see what's down there, but you don't know how far it is type of deal, or no?
Well, no, you can't see what's down there, but you can kind of, like, you know what's kind of stuff you're going to find at each level, typically.
Oh, the stuff is printed on the bottom of these tiles?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Never mind.
So you're digging your way down. You're trying to... What is the actual conceit of this game? I'm not sure what you're trying to do. It says...
Because I was thinking it was like if they were like acrylic pieces that have things inside them, but maybe like they get darker colors, but then it's all randomized in there. You're like, oh, is that 3 or 4 tiles deep? You know?
Oh, that would be cool.
Kind of like that game Dive.
Like Dive, yeah. Yeah, but no, this one is not quite like that. But you are digging down to find precious artifacts from an ancient civilization to increase your prestige. That's the whole point. And you're moving around on this map, and there's a bit of a take that sort of aspect to it. Check that one out. Ice. Looks
Sweet.
like a pretty big production. And then...
Oh, wait. That's cool.
Yeah. And then the last one I'll mention is the silliest and the lightest, and the least deaf friendly. But this one is called Soundbox. And so
sounds pretty deaf.
Yeah,
you mean unfriendly?
It's so unfriendly. Like, but it also does sound pretty fun for those of us that are hearing. You have a bunch of cards that have things that make sounds on them, and you line them up along one side of the board, and it's like a bunch, like 20 different things. And then one person puts on these glasses that are opaque, you can't see through them, and everybody at the same time makes a sound off one of those cards, and makes it for a period of time, and then when the timer goes off, everyone stops. So everyone's making sounds at the same time. And then the person who had the glasses on takes them off and gets to read all the things in the list, and has to identify which things were they making the sound of.
That actually sounds fun.
It sounds so ridiculous.
Man, that sounds like a game for me, honestly, because I'm super audible. Like,
yeah?
Auditory, yeah.
Okay, well, you would get a kick out of it. Like, okay, here we go. I'm going to test you right now. Some of these are super hard. Like,
it's gonna be easy though because I'm only hearing one sound instead of like 5.
Yeah, but some of these you have to be creative just to make a sound.
That's true.
Like, make a sound like a cowboy. Go.
Yeehaw.
Okay. That's fine. But what does a carpenter sound like?
He's nailing stuff in.
Okay. All right. That's fine. It gets harder. How about a genie in a bottle? What does a genie in a bottle sound like? There, see?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm saying I'm hearing, I get your point. Like, I'll be able to hear the sounds, but I'm not going to know what they were referencing. But so like the list, if you're playing with like 5 or 4 people, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say 5. You got one person wearing the glasses, the other 4 people making noise.
Okay.
The card that you get, how many options are there? Like,
no, there's one
12?
thing on the card. There's one thing.
Oh, everybody's making the same sound. Like, if
No,
you say genie in the body.
No.
Oh, okay.
You have like a whole line of cards, like, I don't know, 15 cards.
Okay, that's what I was saying, yeah.
And then and they're all different things. But then out of those 15 things, you're making a sound like a cowboy, and someone else is making a sound like a genie in a bottle, and someone else is making a sound like a carpenter, and someone else is making a sound like a coffee
maker. Yeah.
Coffee, whatever. And like, you're all doing it at the same time. So the person has to actually like try to discreetly separate
so
your
they
sounds.
held up this card, this paper with all the 15 options, and they'd be like, okay, you all are making these 4 things.
Well, I mean, they're cards that you lay out on the table in a great big line.
Yeah.
And then you put tokens. Okay, I heard this. I heard the sound of a jungle. It's like, no, that was a coffee pot.
And I'm assuming this is cooperative, right?
Yes.
Because if it's like, make the sound of this, of like a lightning bolt, you could be like, it's like, obviously that's not a lightning bolt. You traitor.
Yeah.
There we go. We're going to add a traitor into it.
We can make it a trader game. Absolutely.
Yeah, they have to make a sound that does not show up in those 15 options.
And then they have to try to identify the traitor. That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's like, what? Who is saying that noise?
I heard a chicken. I know I heard a chicken.
I heard a chicken, and it's not an option on this list. And nothing looks like a farm animal.
Yeah. Okay, so, this could be a pretty fun game, actually. It's called Soundbox.
Give me your game, publishers, and I will find a way to make a traitor in it.
Yeah, Soundbox. I think it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's good. I might actually check that one out. That's pretty funny.
All right, those are my 6 Kickstarters for this week.
If you're interested in supporting the show, please check out MeepleCore.com and check our Humble Bundle partner link. When you click this, it will take you to Humble Bundle, and you can buy a bunch of bundles of games, as we always talk about. I will point out one bundle that is absolutely amazing because a bunch of these games are already on my Steam wish list, and I am beyond thrilled. For $20, obviously there's tiers to this, but total, if you pay $20 for the Best of Bandai Namco bundle, you will get Pac-Man 256, Tekken 7, Tales of Berseria, Katamari Damacy Reroll, Tales of Zestiria, Rad, Little Nightmares Complete Edition, Code Vein and Project Cars 3. Code name Tales of both the Tales games, Katamari Damacy and Little Nightmares. All those games were on my wish list. This is a fantastic bundle. On top of that, they have a deck building bundle where it has a bunch of deck building games such as Steam World Quest, and you have Fantasy General 2 and Imperator. And also, if you're interested in books, there's a Pathfinder book bundle that has, 20 different books and tiles and stuff, all kinds of Pathfinder stuff. So lots of things. If you go to MeepleCore, click that Humble Bundle partner link and help support the show. And you also help charity as well. All right, cool. Well, we got 3 games for you on this episode. We have Dungeon Draft, we have Four Gardens, and Red Rising. And so first up on this episode, we are talking about Dungeon Draft.
Dungeon Draft is a 2017 release, and I'm so disappointed there is no brief description on Board Game Geek. Somebody get on that. But it has
the edit button to add a brief description.
All right, we're going to do it right now. What's our brief description?
We're doing it live.
What is it?
I don't know.
Oh.
Draft your heroes and weapons, defeat monsters, and win all the glory. I'm
typing that in.
All right. Are you actually adding it and typing that? If they approve that, that's going to be fantastic.
It's done. It's in there. We'll see if it gets put in. All right.
That's fantastic. We'll keep you updated.
Dungeon Draft 2017 game and still had no brief description. Amazing. But it is designed by Justin Gary. The artists are Kez Laxon, John Derek Murphy, and Daniel Robinette. And the publisher is Upper Deck Entertainment.
Cool. I think they added the brief description slightly like a year ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So no game had it until people had it. So that's going to be funny. Anyway, Dungeon Draft is a pretty simple game. The whole mechanism of the game is drafting cards, much like you would in Sushi Go. Everybody gets a hand of 7 cards. You take one, pass the cards to your left. Take one of the new ones you just get, keep going until everybody's drafted 7 cards. And then each player is going to take turns having a play phase. During this play phase, you can play as many cards as you want, but you play them one at a time because you have to pay for them. You start the game with 9 gold. You put a card out. Maybe it's a mage card. There's 4 different color cards that represent mages, druids, warriors, and rogues, I think. There's also monster cards. Those are black cards. Those you actually don't buy. You actually fight. So when you play a card, it has a bag of money at the top left. You spend that much money, you put the card down. Some of these cards have special abilities. Like, for instance, a mage card might say, every other mage you play this round is 2 less gold. Obviously, you want to play that first, and hopefully during drafting, you got more mages because they're going to be cheaper. You keep doing this until you spent all the money you want or whatever. Any of the characters that you play that have attack power, that gets added up, and that means you can kill any monster of that attack power or less. You don't spend attack in this game, you only spend gold. So if you play a character that requires 4 attack power, you kill it. If you play a character that requires 5 attack power, and let's say your attack power is 6, you can kill both of them.
Yeah.
When you kill monsters, you immediately get the money. You also get the XP, which is victory points, and you keep going. So once you finish playing all your cards, you're done. You get your income for the end of the round, which is 5 plus whatever gold production any of the cards that you've played previously have. You put all your cards together and like splay them a little bit so the left-hand side of the card's visible on every card, because the attack power, the number of XP at the end of the game it's worth, and any like class symbols and things like that are always in play. You keep all the stuff from previous rounds. Everybody plays their play phase, then everybody gets 7 new cards to draft. So in the end, you're going to have 7, you're going to have, I guess you're not always playing 7, but you're going to have like this big pile of cards because you keep all your cards from round to round. The only thing you don't keep are monsters. So as you're playing, the other thing about the game is at the beginning, you get 5 quest cards that you will discard 2 of them. So you'll have 3 quests. Oh, the game's played over 4 rounds, by the way. So at the end of 4 rounds, you add up all your points from the tokens that you've gathered plus all your cards on display. And that's how much points you have. But you also start with these 3 quests, 5, you discard 2. So 3 quests. At any point, you can resolve those quests if you meet the requirements, which are just simply combinations of the classes. So you might have to have 4 druids or 2 of all of them or 1 of all of them. The class cards aren't created equally because essentially the requirements change per quest. So the harder ones might have a better ability, but it's less likely you're going to be playing as many times as a quest card that you got out really fast.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the game. The rulebook's literally like 4 pages. And we'll start with you, George, since if you were listening to the beginning of the show, I bought it after we've played it. So we'll start with you.
Yeah, this one is kind of hard for me to decide because it's a good game. I liked the ease of it. You just draft and then you put things together and you try to match your contracts of your quest cards. There's no real challenge to that. But at the same time, there are so many games that do this that I kind of felt like it was okay. It wasn't for me. I didn't rush out and buy it, but there's nothing objectionable.
Like Tim.
There's nothing objectionable about it at all. It's a fine game.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like it's such it's just one mechanism, drafting. It's been done a whole lot. It's added into a lot of games where drafting is a thing, but you still do other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got, I think, really pleasant art, for the kind of game that it is, because I'm not really into the whole, D&D fantasy trope very much.
Generic fantasy.
Generic fantasy. It's okay, but this art is fine. If you like it, you like it. And this is, it's pretty good as far as that goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good. Like, I don't mind, simpler games. They're fine as long as they're fun. And like Sushi Go is a good game. I like Sushi Go a lot. However, maybe if I want something a little bit deeper than Sushi Go, but I don't want to go into a ton of rules, or maybe don't have a lot of time. Although I'm not saying this is a small or a fast game. It is much quicker than, or longer than Sushi Go. Yes. It is like a 30 to 40 minute game for sure. Even though it doesn't really feel like that. And honestly, we played it digitally, so it probably is like 25 to 30 minutes in real life.
Right. It probably is. I would say it's a half-hour game.
Yeah. It's much faster to draft in real life than it is on Tabletop Simulator.
And I think that I would make sure that it's a half-hour game by when playing it, I would house rule that there's only 3 rounds instead of 4.
You could do that. Yeah. That fourth round kind of gets a little...
It's not necessary.
I would say I agree with you. I think that, the only problem would be like the quest cards. Like some of them would basically become worthless, or not worthless, but they would be way too hard to do in 3 rounds. However, you could figure out which ones those are for your groups and stuff and just take those out and only draft from like the easier ones.
Yeah.
Or just don't even use quest cards, I guess. You don't really have to use the quest cards. They're cool, but...
Or give a bonus, if you actually could do one of the really hard ones in 3 rounds.
Yeah, just like double the XP on it or something.
Yeah.
Well, either way, the point is, I think that the game probably should have been designed with 3 rounds instead of 4, because it's like, for instance, the attack power is always a threshold. So if you have the attack power, you can kill stuff.
Yeah.
If your attack power is 10 or more, you kill every monster in the game. No monster has more than 10.
That's no good.
So I was thinking it would be kind of neat if they had some other cards that stayed out in play, like boss monsters that stay out there. They're like 15 and 20 attack power.
Yeah.
And on your turn, you could kill those if you could do it, you know? So it gives you a reason to go after attack power. Although the only reason I say that's not a good idea is because I feel like attack power is the most important thing in the game. So it would be really stacking on that strategy, I guess. And it wouldn't make other strategies, it would kind of dilute those as far as like victory points wise.
Yep. Yeah.
Or just make it when you kill those boss monsters, you don't get victory points. You actually get like a cool special power for that round.
Yeah, I like that. I think that would be good. The idea that attack power is really important makes a lot of sense because you're going into a dungeon to kill monsters. But at the same time,
true.
Don't ignore those Phoenix cards. Don't let one player just get them all. There's other ways to win this game. You can win by not doing attack power.
Yeah, those cards he's talking about, they're of all the different classes. They're really cheap cards to put out, and when they go out and play for that round, or basically when you play it, it gives you 2 points for every other Order of the Phoenix card. So if you have like 3, it's going to give you 6 points.
Yeah.
Next round, if you play 2 more, it's going to give you 8 points and then 10 points, right?
Which gets ridiculous. Yeah.
Right. But Eric pulled this off because it's what Eric does. But one of his quest cards was, redo the special ability on one of the effects, character's effects that you played this turn. And so he was doubling up on it because he had that quest. Without that quest, it's not as potent.
Yeah.
With that quest, it's a very good strategy.
Yeah. Well, I like that there are other strategies to the game. So it's not all about attack power, but you can't ignore attack power. It's definitely something core.
It's fantastic because here's the thing. You only get 5 gold each round. So you have to get the rest of the gold if you're going to get a lot more through gold production, and you don't get a lot of that.
Yeah.
So killing bad guys is like the perfect way to get gold because not only do you get it, a lot of it, you also get it immediately instead of waiting for the end of the round and getting to spend it next round.
Yeah, the game works. The game is it's fun. It's fast, fun. Not necessarily going to replace other drafters that I have, but it's good. Yeah,
I wouldn't rush out and buy it like I did, but if you find a copy of it and it's a reasonable price and you don't mind drafting games, it's one you should get. And there is one other negative thing I'll say about the game. It's not. It's kind of hyperbole or whatever, but the promo card that it says it comes with is so lame. Number one, a promo card, if you want to understand this, Upper Deck, is that promo means promotional. So you want to give out a card that makes you really excited about the game, or, man, I want to check this game out. Or, oh man, like that's a cool card to have. I couldn't get otherwise, The promo card is called a Jackalope, and all it is a monster that has like 5 attack power or whatever to kill. And it gives you like 5 experience points. Put some kind of cool ability on it. Promo cards, I think, are the perfect opportunity to put slightly game breaking abilities on, or slightly experimental abilities on, and let people try them out and give you feedback without having a lot of playtesters go through and playtest a promo card. That's what I personally feel like,
Well, I think a lot of companies agree with you because you get a lot of promo cards that are absolutely broken.
That's a cool thing though, because you don't have to play with it. It's not part of the base game or whatever. And it's just neat. I'm not saying it should be like so broken that anybody who plays it will lose unless you have it. But if you're talking about a power level, like everything in the game is like a power level 5, 6, or a 7, right? This might be the only 8 power level card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's completely arbitrary numbers, but you get what I'm saying. Like it's slightly above the coolest card in the game, and it's a promo. So, I mean, unless it's a competitive game like a deck builder,
right.
or like a Magic the Gathering style collectible card game or something, Then your promos need to be balanced.
Nah, just if it's Magic, you just make them pay more for it. It's fine.
That's what happens. No.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Dungeon Draft. Yeah, I really like it. I don't have much else to say other than I did go out and buy it immediately after a few plays, and I'm really excited to play it in person. I think it's a very quick game. It's a very cool drafting game.
Easy to teach.
It's definitely an easy to teach gateway game. So if you want to get your friends who play D&D and Magic or, those other type of genres that like a hobbyist game, and you want to get them in the board game world, this is a really good one because I think it's number one, gateway, right? There's a little bit of decision making to make. You get excited when you start pulling off some cool stuff or like, all right. Oh, I got this. I drafted this card first this round. Now I'm totally going after this type of card the rest of the round.
There are some decent combos. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as maybe I made it out to sound, but
it's a little bit more complex than Sushi Go, but only in the strategy of what you want to do.
Yeah.
The game is the exact same thing. Draft a card, pass.
Really
Draft a card, pass.
Yeah.
So, but playing the cards in the right order and stuff. Oh, such a good game for what it is. Anything else?
No, it's a fine game.
All right. Well, that is Dungeon Draft. Next up on this episode, we are talking about Four Gardens.
Four Gardens is a 2020 release. Turn the mystical pagoda to build beautiful panoramas. And the designer is Martin Dolezal. The artist is Rachance. And the publisher is Korea Board Games Company Limited.
In America, it is Arcane Wonders.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Four Gardens is a game about collecting resources that you're going to use on the cards that you play to flip them over and to make pieces of panoramas. And that's pretty much the whole point of the game, other than, obviously the strategy and rules, but that's like kind of what you're doing. So you have a hand of cards. There's this pagoda in the center of the table. Your orientation to this pagoda matters because you are staring at one of the four sides of the pagoda, and all the resources on that side is what pertain to you. So everybody's looking at a different side of this pagoda. So as players turn it, your visuals change and the amount of resources you get will change as well. So there's 4 tiers to that tower. It has water, I think the bottom has like grass, and then the one above it's like wood, and then water, and the top one is stone. That matters because when you gather resources, you only gather them from top down or bottom up. Anyway, you have a hand of cards, and on your turn you have, was it 3 actions?
3.
Yeah, you have 3 actions, but there's 4 different types of actions that you can take, although you can do the same one multiple times. The first type of action you can play is to take a card from your hand and put it face up on the table, and that becomes a building card where like you're trying to build the resources that it shows, and once you do that, you'll flip it over, and it's a piece of the panorama. The second type of action you can take is the wheelbarrow action, which is on every card. So every action pertains to the cards you have in your hand. So you can discard a card, use it as the wheelbarrow icon, and allocate resources from your little resource collection thing. You can only have 4 resources at a time, and you'll put those out on those cards to complete them. The third type of action you can take is a wild. Some of the cards have this. You can discard it simply to get one of any choice resource and put it into your collection plate or whatever. And the last type of action you can take is the biggest one, and that's the pagoda action, where the card will tell you which tier of the pagoda to rotate one way clockwise or counterclockwise, and then you will collect resources from bottom up or top down. The card will tell you. Now, since you only have spots for 4 resources, it might be cool that the stone has 3 resources showing, but you got to collect them in that order. So you'll get stone, 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 and then possibly 1 water. So the idea is to try to turn the pagoda to where maybe you blank out a resource or 2 to skip it so that you can grab like more wood or grab more water or whatever you're trying to go for. Or maybe you don't need stone at all, so you want to blank that out just to skip it to go to water. Anyway, when you complete a piece of the panorama, you'll flip it face down, and you get to do, there's a color circle on it, like red, blue, green, yellow. There's 4 score tracks out in the middle of the board. So if you flip, these represent like, I guess the 4 elements. When you flip it over, If it has a blue, you're going to move up one space on blue. If it's yellow, you move it one space on yellow. Now the kicker is if you complete the first piece of a panorama, say it's blue, you'll go up one on blue. If you complete the second piece of the panorama, you'll flip it over, and now say that one's yellow, you'll go up yellow and you'll go up the blue. So it's like a waterfall effect. If you do the next one and it's another blue, you'll go up blue, yellow, blue. So the bigger the panorama, the more like cascading scoring that you'll get from it, because you keep getting the stuff you've already scored from it. And that's a lot of points, right? Because it's going to move you up in the points. On top of that, when you reach the end of the score track, which goes up to 10, although it is like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. So it's not a very long score track, but when you're at the end and you go up again, you knock everybody else on that same score track down. So if you're at the end of blue and you get in blue, everyone on blue moves down one, and you can keep doing that. And eventually people will drop off that score track and can never score blue again for the rest of the game. The last thing is, the reason you might want to, in the game, there's a 2-piece panorama, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Now, completing the 5 is really nice because you score a whole lot. Each time you score, you get more and more. But each time you complete a panorama in total, you get a bonus tile you can pick a bonus tile that will give you an extra space to hold a resource. You can pick a bonus tile that will give you extra wilds, right? So like it's in a stack. So whoever gets it first would draw 4 wild tokens and place them on their stuff, or then 3, then 2, then 1. And the last type of bonus tile is scoring, and it's 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's pretty much the game. At the end of each round, or each time you're done, you will draw cards from the 3 up that are on display or from the top of the deck. Once you've finished your drawing, then you'll flip more cards out. And that's it. And you keep doing this until, based on the player count, somebody finishes so many panorama pieces. So in a 3-player game, whoever finishes, I think 9, the game will end. You finish the round and you count up score, which is simply those 4 score tracks. And if you have a bonus tile. So that's it. Let's start with you on this one, George, because I'm going to take a drink.
All right. Well, this one is probably the most highly rated half gorgeous game on BGG that I will never play again.
Not a fan, huh?
I really dislike it. I actively dislike this game.
Half gorgeous. All right, I'm going to stand back and say this game looks super pretty.
It does. I'm talking about the card art. The card art is really pretty. The card art is absolutely gorgeous. You make these panoramas, and they're definitely worth doing because the panoramas are great. The temple itself...
You're saying half of the components, not that it's halfway gorgeous. I see what you're saying.
The temple itself is like half the visual appeal of the game. Or I guess I'm calling it a temple. It's a pagoda, supposedly. But to me, a pagoda has like the corners of the roofs, right? The corners of each level of
curl up and stuff.
They roll up. They go up. These come straight down. I don't know. It doesn't look like a pagoda to me. And the blue on the roofs also just obscure what you're supposed to be looking at in terms of seeing visually what pieces you're supposed to get. It's not that you can't see them. It's not a clean, clear design for me. It doesn't match the cards.
Yeah, like it's not so apparent that if you just, I mean, obviously you see them when you look at it, but when you know what they are, it's a little bit easier to see than if you don't know anything about the game, you just look at it.
Yeah.
Like that's not the first thing you're going to notice.
It really looks odd. You have these beautiful cards and then you have a pagoda that I'm sorry, I don't think it's attractive at all.
I kind of like it though, but that's me. It was much easier in the Tabletopia version of the game because it's just a bunch of white cubes standing on top of each other. Obviously it didn't look as good as what's in the box, but I don't know. I think here's the thing. I like this game. I like what it's doing, but there's 2 things that keep me away from it. And I was probably going to buy this without knowing anything about it because number 1, it's Arcane Wonders. Number 2, it's feudal Japan. Well, I guess it doesn't really have to be feudal, but it has that feeling that it's like ancient Japan or at least countryside.
Right.
So that's 2 things I really like about it. The problem with me is I don't like the fact it works very well when you move up and you get to punch people down.
But
I don't like that type of punishment. Here's
either.
the thing. It's a subjectional thing, right? Like I personally am not into it. I think it works well for the game, but that makes it a game I'm not necessarily okay with. Like, for instance, Azul has something like that where you get punished if you don't do something right. Like if you have too many things, I can't remember what it is now.
If you take more than you can store, then you get you get punished for that.
Yes. I think that's stupid.
No, it's fantastic.
Do I think Azul's a great game? It's
Azul,
a great game.
In Azul, it's not overly punishing. In this one, it's overly punishing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it could be if you were all the way up the front and somebody come barrel rolling in there, YOLO, and then just knocks you down like 3 steps.
But listen, in Azul, you get a few negative points. You still get points. You just get a few negative ones. It's not like they say, oh, and you can never score with yellow tiles ever again.
Now, I will agree with you with that. I think that it's fine with the way it's pushing people down. I don't think they should kick you off the scoreboard to where you can no longer get points for that. I think you should be, because here's the thing. If you're down to the very end, you're not wanting to probably invest into moving that color up. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if at least it was there, it wouldn't feel as bad.
Yeah. At least you feel like, okay, I've lost this game, but at least I did something. But in this, you get to the point where it's like, oh, I've lost the game and there's no point to my doing any of this anymore. That's just, there's nothing positive about that, period.
If this is the type of games you like, you're going to love this game because it is designed with that in mind very well.
If you enjoy negative play experiences, this is your game.
Listen to me there.
This game it's got the negative play experience of getting kicked all the way off a track. It's got the negative play experience of being so restrictive. You can't hold more than this many cubes. You only get one option of turning the tower.
It is really restricted. The whole game is 4 gardens, the restriction.
Yeah. You have to play one of your cards, and that tells you which of these tower levels you get to turn anyway. And it's only one, and you don't get to go left or right, and that's it, and all the others stay the same. But you can't even do that unless you have the card to do it. And it's like you can only draw from the top down of your stuff from the tower or the bottom up. You're restricted at every step of this game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There's a lot of restrictions, and people love that. Right? Because this is more of an abstracted game. And so there's a lot of games out there that do like that kind of, you got to play around the restrictions and whoever does the best at doing that wins.
Yeah.
That's what this game is. And if that's something you like, you're going to love this game because I think that the design of the game is good. It's just not the type of design I enjoy playing.
Yeah.
It's not like, this game's broken because it only has one strategy and that strategy is just too powerful, or this game's broken because this doesn't make any sense to do ever.
Yeah. No,
like,
it's not
everything
that.
in the game
it's
works well.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like, I don't know, driving one of those ugly supercars that people have that are, weird colors of camouflage. You're like, you know what? That's a really expensive car. And I'm sure it has great horse, power and mileage per gallon and stuff, but I'm not driving that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I could get behind that analogy.
So, and I'm not just trying to say this because I like Arcane Wonders as a company. I had a lot of hope for this game in the beginning because before it was even picked up by Arcane Wonders, we were previewing it on the Essen release, I think.
Yeah.
2 years ago or something,
yeah,
or maybe last year.
You did pick this one out, yeah.
And I was really excited about it. I played it. I was like, oh, wow, this has some things that I stay away from certain board games for. But I recognize that I think that some people are going to phenomenally love this. The only 2 big things I would say is you shouldn't be kicked off the score track, period.
Yeah.
Instead of because I think it drops down to 2. You start off on 3. Just go down to 0. Like 3, 2, 1, 0, but you can keep coming back.
Right.
That would have been a feeling thing, right? I don't think it would have changed the actual gameplay at all.
It would not change the outcome. Heck no.
No, but it would make me feel better. And that's some of the part of board games is how you feel. And the second thing is I don't like the restriction on up and down on the pagoda. I think it's restrictive enough that it tells you what you can spin.
Right. And if you don't have the card that tells you to spin the tower that you need to spin, you're done.
Like, that's hard enough right there.
Yeah.
So keep it like that. And I would have dealt away with the drawing from top down or bottom up, because you already got, just to get a resource, you're restricted on carrying it. You're restricted on what thing you can spin, which also spins all the thing above it. And then you're restricted on which direction you can draw the resources from. So,
Right.
I mean, you don't need that many restrictions. I'm sorry. Like, that's just not a fun thing for me to go through.
Yeah. I don't find the game fun, period. End of story. Like, you're getting stuff. The whole game is, can you get stuff and then turn that stuff in to...
It's like, here's your weighted boots. Here's the swamp. And on top of that, you're getting shot at. You know, let's see who can do the best.
Yeah,
that's the kind of experience it is.
It's just convert stuff into other stuff, the board game. And I mean, there's a whole lot of those that I don't like as it is, but this one, there's nothing you can do. If you don't have the things to do the things that you need to do, not only am I doing something I don't enjoy to begin with, turning rocks and grass into, what am I making? A painting, I guess?
Right, like Takanoko has this experience you go through to make your panoramas. This one's like punching you a face in the end and seeing what kind of pretty panoramas you make.
Yeah, it's it's so limiting, and in the end, I just didn't get enough done, and it was such a negative experience for me. I hate to say it.
That's fair.
It is pretty.
I will end with my final thought on it, and my final thought is I will probably still pick this up because I know so many people that I've gamed with actually would really like it. And I don't hate the game. There's just two things that I feel like it gives me a, punch in the gut on the restrictions. And I'm just not about that. I'd rather play a game where I don't feel restricted.
Yeah.
But with that being said, if you don't mind games that restrict you in many ways and you try to figure out the puzzle of getting past all that, you're going to love this game. I think it is designed with all those obviously intentional and designed very well. It's a great design. It's just not a game for me personally, but not to the point where I wouldn't play it again.
I don't know. I don't know that I can agree with you that it's a great design, because it's not a puzzle where you do something clever and you think, I solved the puzzle. I did a puzzly thing and I figured it out and now I'm okay. It's a puzzle where you happen to get the stuff that helps you do the thing or you don't. And that's it. It's not really a puzzle where you get that much agency, in my opinion. And then the other thing is you have such a tactical response to the game when you're playing with 4 players. That pagoda turns 3 times before it gets back to your turn. There's no planning. You have to take your turn figuring out, okay, now what do I do? And here is the 5 cards. I can play them. I get 3 actions. Each card is used 3 different ways.
Yeah.
This is downtime the game. Like, that is also an issue for me. Like, I'm having a hard time finding anything good about this game.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I do agree with you that it is kind of disappointing that you can't really plan that well ahead of time if you're playing with like 4 players.
Yeah.
Because it does change so much, unless you already have the resources waiting to be put out there. But that's a few rounds maybe throughout the whole game. Most of the time you wait until it's the person before you and you hope they don't move it. Like, all right, well, if he spins it left, I'm going to do all this. If he spins it right, I'm going to do all this. But then at the end, he like doesn't spin it. You're like, now I have to spin it because you can't gather resources from it without spinning it once. So you're always having to start your turn thinking about what you're going to do or revising what you just thought about.
Yeah. And this is a game that's pretty highly rated. So if you are the kind of person who listens to things that I say and usually thinks, man, he never likes any of the games that I like, you should run out and get this game. Because this is not my game at all. And if you are not the kind of gamer I am, this might be your game. Seriously. It's pretty highly rated.
That's fair. All right. Well, we're going to end this. I don't want to beat a dead horse with what I said, but I think it is designed well. You just have to be in with those type of designs. If you are, you're going to love it.
Okay.
George still doesn't like it. That's the next game I'm going to buy and we're going to play it all the time.
Oh, no.
Anyway, that is 4 Gardens. And last up on this episode, we are talking about Red Rising.
Red Rising is a 2021 release. Craft a hand of powerful characters from the dystopian world of Red Rising. The designer is Alexander Schmidt II and Jamie Stegmaier. And the artists are Jackie Davis, Miles Bensky, and Justin Wong. And the publisher is Stone Maier Games.
Now, this is based off a book series I've never read, So you won't find any comparisons to the book series in this review.
I've not read it either, so yeah, we can't comment on that.
And secondly, this game is massively inspired, as Jamie put it in the rulebook, by a game called Fantasy Realms, which you probably never heard of, although since it just got nominated for the Spiel des Jahres of 2021, you probably heard of it now.
Right, because it came out in German.
Like 4 years later.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, Red Rising, I'm going to pretend you know nothing about Fantasy Realms. Red Rising is a pretty simple game. For the most part, you start off with 7 cards, and the idea is for you to play a card to the board and pick up another card. That literally is it most of the game. Now, I'm not trying to say the game's garbage or anything. I'm just saying it's a very simple concept.
I'll say
so
it.
I'm
just kidding.
On your turn, George hates every game. You have a board out in the middle that has essentially 4 locations on it. And these locations are going to have cards. Every time you play a card to a pile, quote unquote pile, they're actually splayed like downward so you can see the cards below it. You can pick those up and look through them or whatever. They're not secretive. It's not like a stack of cards. So on your turn, you can do a deployment action. You take a card from your hand, you put it in one of these 4 locations on the top. You do its deployment ability, which might say draw another card and place it somewhere else, or if there's a white card anywhere on the table, move it to the top of any other location, etc. Once you've played that card for your deploy action, which is called leading, I guess, or called lead, you then get to pick up another card from a different location, or you can top deck it and place it somewhere and then roll this die. If you pick it up from another location, you get to activate the power of the location, and then you keep that card in your hand. If you top deck it, you keep that card in your hand and you roll the die, which determines a random outcome, mostly from the 4 locations, but it could be some other stuff. That is what you're doing. So when you pick up from one of these locations, like say, the blue location, which is Jupiter, you get to move your piece up on the fleet track, and that goes up, and the farther it goes on this track, the more points it's worth at the end of the game. If you pick up from Mars, you actually get some helium, which are these little red crystals. Those are worth 3 points at the end of the game. If you pick up from the Institute, you get to put an influence marker in the Institute box, and at the end of the game, whoever's the most there will get 4 points per cube. Second place gets 2 points, and everybody else gets 1 point per cube. The last location is Luna, and when you pick up from there, you actually get the Sovereign token, which for the most part is just going to activate your player power that you get at the beginning of the game that's different from everybody else. You also get 10 points if you hold it at the end of the game as well. The other type of action you can take is a scout action. So as the game goes on and you've been doing all these lead actions, you might have the cards you want because the cards have 2 things on them. They have the deployment ability and they have a core value of numbers at the top left. So this card's worth 15 points, but all the bottoms of the cards have all these bonus points. If you have this card and you don't own any gold cards at the end of the game, you get 15 extra bonus points for having this card. Or if you have this card, it's like, if you specifically have the card named Darrow, you get extra points. Now that might be hard because there's 112 cards in the game. However, like the orange and I believe the gray cards have end of game abilities that say they can represent any named card, whatever you want it to be named. So if you have an orange card, you could just say this one's named Darrow. Right? So there's ways to mitigate some of those. You will keep going until 2 different in-game conditions could happen. Number 1, collectively among the group of players, somebody has made it to at least the 7th spot on the fleet track, has 7 cubes in the Institute, or has 7 helium crystals in front of them. As long as all 3 of those have been met by any number of players, the game will end at the end of the round, after all the players have had even the number of turns. The other way the game can end is if a single player has done 2 of those things. So maybe they've 7 up on the fleet track and they have 7 helium. That will trigger in-game as well. At the end of it, you just simply get points for all the stuff I've already mentioned, and then all the cards in your hand are, scored, because you're going to get the core value plus the bonus stuff that they have, and whoever has the most points at that point is the winner. The only other thing I'll mention is that the player powers are different, but I'm going to bring those up because I have something to say about them. I guess since you started on the other games, I'll start on this one.
All right.
I really like this game a lot, but I recognize to myself that there are some flaws or things I don't like about it. However, they're not big enough for me to do anything about it, like not play the game, because I like the game that much, right?
Yep.
Here's the quick things I don't like. And then
House rules.
Well, we'll see. I'm not sure how many of these can be house ruled.
Okay.
The individual player powers that you get at the beginning of the game are lame. To me. There's 6 of them, 1 for each player, if you're playing up to 6, right? So 3 of them are super lame. Just one is anytime you get the sovereign token, you get a helium. The next one's go up on the fleet track. The next one's put a cube in the institute. I don't like stuff like that says do something that you're already supposed to be doing and it's already in the game.
Exactly. I'm so glad you said that. I was going to mention that myself.
The other 3 are awesome. Right. One of them's like you start the game as the first player and you end the game as the first player. And there's some other little minor thing it has too. I forget. And then the other 2 are like anytime you get the sovereign token, you get to roll that die. And I think that's it, which I think is kind of neat because you're like, all right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Sure.
And the last thing is, the last player power is, you can banish a card from the game that's on the top of one of the locations and then draw a card and place it where it was, I think.
Yeah.
Or place it somewhere. And I think that's really cool because that's a cool power. No one can really banish cards that well. And if they do, they typically, the card will usually banish stuff like play this card. And if you do its ability, you banish this card you just played or whatever.
Right.
But if people play cards, typically they'll play a card to try to draw another card and then hopefully get their first card back like next turn. And if you're paying attention, you can be like, I'm going to banish that, because I don't like the abilities that you're going for or whatever.
Right.
So like half of the player powers are really cool and the other half are just super boring. Very lame. I think that I would rather just play with those 3 player powers each time and not the 3 boring ones, although they are nice for beginner players because they don't have to think that hard. But it'd be cool just to have an expansion that had 10 more player powers, even 5 more player powers, at the minimum 3.
That's one idea. You also could play where you have the 3 cool player powers, but everyone can do them all the time.
Oh yeah, just shuffle them and only put 2 of them in the game. And then when you get the sovereign token, just pick one of those 2.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Especially the banishment power because I'll get to my issues with the game here in a minute, but were you going to say there was another one or were those your 2?
I had the other one. What was the other one? Well, go ahead and do your thing. I'll come back.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tell you all the cool things I like about the game because there's way more that I like about it than I disliked.
Okay. Well, one of the issues that I have with the game is that there's this massive deck of cards and they all do different things, but you're only going to see a certain number in the game because you start the game with a certain number of cards in your hand and on your turn you put out a card and then you take a card. And so the game turns into this just rotation of cards. You see the same cards over and over unless people do the random thing of just getting new cards out of the deck just randomly, which maybe that's good. Maybe it's bad. Too bad if it's bad. But the banishment, like if there's somebody that has a card that they just keep playing, like you almost need to banish it just to keep it from just racking up their position, whatever it is.
Well, you can always just draw that card and then do something to get rid of it or just keep it in your hand.
You can, but that's just clogging up your hand. And if you do something to get rid of it, like play it, you're just handing it back to them. And if you draw it into your hand, it's probably not a card that's helping you. It's a card that was helping them. It's part of their strategy. So you're not actually taking over their whole strategy. It's just messing up your own strategy by sitting in your hand doing nothing. Or you play it and now they get to actually use it again, So I don't know. The cycling of cards in the game is an issue for me.
I think just to kind of say something else about that though, there's a lot of cards that you can play that allow you to move other cards. So you can move that card like to the back of the deck or the stack for that location, things like that. You can quote unquote bury it.
Yeah.
Really well.
Yeah. There are things like that. Definitely. And maybe you can get people to work together to do that.
Well, yeah. I mean, unless they're targeting you and everybody's laughing, you'd be like, you're next, buddy.
Yeah. So, but here's the biggest problem with me. It hit me in the game, okay, but I think it would bother anybody in the game is that if you have cards that let you draw other cards, you're going to either win or do fine. And if you don't get those cards, why are you playing? I'm not kidding. Like those are OP. Getting extra cards when that's not an ability that everyone can do. If you just happen to get a card that lets you get another card, each card is an average of 30 points or something?
Yeah, 30 or 35.
Yeah. So if that happens to you twice and me 0 times, then the game is decided.
Yeah, and I didn't mention earlier because I knew we were going to talk about this, but the 8th card and above, you pay negative 10 points for. However, most of the cards in the game are 30 or 35. And if you hit 40 or 45, those are excellent cards, but usually you get that from the bonuses and they're harder to do.
Yeah.
So even if it's like 30 points, even if it's 25 points, you get negative 10, you score a net of 15. There's no reason, or at least I can think of, where you shouldn't go for more cards if available.
Yeah.
Even with cards that restrict you to say, don't collect any gold cards. Well, there's 11 different colors in the game. It's not hard to ignore one color.
Yes.
Even 2 or 3 colors, really. So I kind of agree with you. I think it was unfortunate that you didn't get as many draw opportunities that other people have, especially in the games that I've played. It seems like everybody always gets a couple of extra cards. However, if it does work out to where you don't, and I can totally see that maybe even like with more players, like in a 6-player game or something.
Sure.
Because there's only ever 3 or 2 cards on each location to begin with. The only extra cards are in players' hands. Right. And some of those cards, when you play them, they get rid of once you play them or whatever.
Yeah. And that's it. It's gone. They got the thing. You don't get to get it.
Right. I think some of them don't, but there's stipulations like play this card. And if there's a white in the same column, collect it. Well, if that's the only white card out there and no one has them in their hands, it's unlikely a lot of whites are going to come out throughout the rest of the game. So I can see bad playthroughs where somebody isn't getting extra cards. And if you don't get extra cards, you're not going to win by doing all the other stuff because everybody else is going up on the fleet track, putting cubes in the Institute, getting helium. And I don't feel like those are where you get your points from because typically in the game, it says you should end, or you did great if you had over 300 points. Well, if you had if you had the fleet track all the way up, it's like 43 or 46 points. If you got all your cubes in the Institute and you had the most, that's 40 points. So that's 80. Let's just say 85 to be, easy math. And then you can get infinite amount of helium, but typically, let's just say you had 10, which is 30 points.
Yeah.
That's like 110? That's a third of your score. The rest of it you're getting through cards.
Oh yeah. It's so definitely cards.
And that's really hard to get all 3 of those to have 10 of each thing. I mean, that is a lot of stuff you're doing.
That's not going to happen. Yeah.
And so usually when you're doing that, you're not focused on the cards you're getting. You're just focused on pulling the cards from the areas that you need those things to go up on. And you're less focused with what's in your hand. So you'll score really low there. Otherwise, you're just a awesome player at this game. And you just ruled everybody with your 500 point hand of cards and all the stuff out there. But so the main focus of the game is the card play.
Yeah.
And it is sad to see somebody not get any opportunities to draw extra cards.
Yeah, there should be some kind of catch-up something in there. Honestly, there's got to be something. Why do some cards give you extra cards and others don't? Like, what is the point? You're just enriching people because they happen to be lucky enough to get that card. I don't like that kind of design decision.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing I can mention is even though it's really convenient, it is kind of odd you just draw. And I guess I go back and forth on it because at the beginning of the game, you just get 7 random cards and maybe you happen to get cards that allow you to draw extra cards. And you don't care about the points of the cards at first. Maybe halfway through the game, you're starting to say, okay, I'm going to keep these 2 cards. So let's build off of that. And the rest of them you can trade in and stuff.
Right.
You're typically never going to keep a lot of the cards you started the game with.
Right. Yeah. You just want to accumulate cards and then swap them around to get what you want. Absolutely.
I guess you could do a draft, but you would need to do a draft with experienced players. So that wouldn't drown the game out because if you did a draft, this game could literally be double the length just adding a drafting round for 7 cards because there's a lot to consider.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll finish up. So.
Okay, actually,
final
that's an
thoughts.
interesting idea. That's an interesting idea.
Oh, okay.
Let's say you play one of those cards that gives you an extra card. So when you play that card, you draw that number of cards off the deck, one for every player, and then you get to decide who gets which card. At least that way, everyone gets a card, but you get the best one, and then everyone else gets something.
I think I can lead to other problems though, because I don't know. I don't know if it's a good fix or not.
It would get more cards into the game.
It would get more cards in the game. I think maybe you should just start with 4 cards at each location, so there's more in circulation to start with. I don't know why 2. I mean, considering that every time I played this game, we only use about a third of the deck, which is awesome. Some people aren't going to like that. I love it because if you're a fan of the show or you listened to us before, my favorite type of expansion just adds more cards to every deck.
That's true.
And that is a massive deck of cards. It's fantastic. I'm fine with it. I would like to see where an expansion would take this, though. That would be an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily think they need to add a lot of cards. I think they should add something cooler. Honestly, I think, man, I really like your idea with the, put out 2 of those player power cards. And then when you get the sovereign token, you just choose which one to activate.
Yeah. That way it's not unbalanced just off the get-go.
Well, and it also provides a different strategy for each game because that's changing every time you play. Oh man, that one card's not in play. Okay, maybe I'll focus on this, but you can't really, you're not shoehorned into a strategy because it's well, I'm green player. I'm putting stuff in Institute.
Right. Yeah. And no one is going to be able to beat me at Institute. I'm the green player.
Right.
I win
every single game I've played. Let's just say the green player has always had 10 cubes in the Institute and honestly has always lost the game. Because I don't know, but I don't think the Institute is that great of a investment for some reason.
Yeah, but it's boring maybe
it's coincidence.
If you already know, yeah, they're going to win the Institute, why do we bother then? Yeah.
Right, but if those options are on the table and you can choose one each time you get the sovereign token.
Yeah.
That kind of addresses it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I like it.
I just want to say this as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
I haven't read the books. I don't know what the theme is all about. I don't know. Okay. And I'm sure the theme is there in the game in various ways. Certain characters want to be with other characters. Okay. That's fine. Because in the book, they were, really.
Is this the artwork
They
thing?
were really tight. Yes. The artwork is
go ahead.
great. The artwork is lovely. Here's the problem. The artwork is all headshots. It's all.
It's just a bust of a person.
It's just a bust of a person. I don't
Every once
care.
in a while, it's here's a guy carrying something. All right.
Wow. He's got something in his hand. Yeah. I mean, it's just the most boring, bland, just people art, except for a couple spaceships. And that's it. And man, I look forward to seeing those spaceships show up, and they're not that exciting. But
it's only because there's so many cards. If it was 20 cards, it wouldn't be a big deal. Or if there was other things like location cards, But I see your point.
You have a character, put him in a place, doing a thing. There's a whole universe, apparently. I don't know, some kind of space game. Give me some art that does something. Even Game of Thrones or whatever. There's a ton of characters in that game. But
he's talking about the collectible card game.
Yes.
Or the living card game.
Yes. Yeah. The collectible card game, living card game. There's so many characters in Game of Thrones and they all have so many relationships with each other. That's great. But the art on those cards, they're fighting. They're swinging a sword. They're riding a horse. They're, having a drink. I don't care. They're doing something. They're not just standing there looking at the camera like it's a mugshot.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Put them in some kind of action poses if they're an action character or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them have some things. It doesn't bother me as much as it bothers you. I think the art is well done. You're just saying maybe spice it up a little bit with having them do stuff.
Please. Yeah. It's boring art.
That's fair. Anyway, I really like this game to the point where I now own the collector's edition, which whatever. Some people are saying, and I get it. In the collector's edition, all the pieces are metal. And the gold and the yellow are kind of hard to distinguish amongst each other. And the red and the blue are kind of hard to distinguish amongst each other.
Right.
I don't care because they're metal components, obviously being the metal meeple. So I've got metal meeples to move around.
There we go.
But, I don't know. I like them. People were saying people are saying, okay, so the gold cards in the game have the word gold and they have like this filigree foiled stamped.
Right.
If you flip the card over and examine it for like 35 seconds, you can barely see the protrusion of the embossing where they embossed the stamp of gold on there, right? But you can see it on the other side.
Oh.
If you're paying that much attention to the deck, you're not playing the game. Dude, if that's that much of a complaint, come on. Like, I've started looking at people, I'll be like, I get it. Yellow and gold, metallic colors are hard to differentiate.
Sure.
I get it. The most minute little stamping that you cannot tell unless you have very good studio lighting and you flip the card over and analyze it right up to your face. I'm sorry, but spare me.
I saw some comments about that, but the way they made it sound, I honestly thought that the gold cards like had gold stamping on the back of the card that was like shiny. You know, like, I'm a gold card.
Right. No, like it's an identifier. No, it's just like, you know, on the front of the card where it says like gold card or yellow card or blue card.
Right.
The gold is actually got gold foiled stamped on it, but obviously that causes the cardboard to bend because it stamps in. You know, like when you fill the top of a box and
but it's just a tiny, tiny bit.
It is so, like, I own the game. I put these cards to my face and I'm like moving it around so the light hits it at the right angle.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, but if you look at the top of the deck and you happen to notice that the next card is gold, it almost does nothing for you to know. I'm like, okay, next card's gold.
Yeah.
I mean,
everyone can do that too. So who cares?
I'm not even going after gold cards, so I don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
I was thinking it was like you're holding cards in your hand and across the table, you could look at somebody's hand of cards and be like, he's got 3 gold cards.
I mean, I guess you could do that possibly, but okay. Eagle eyes McGee. I mean, come on. No, that's a stupid thing to get upset about. Or even, I mean, I guess you could bring it up or whatever, but if you consider that a negative of the game for the collector's edition,
I'll have to see it. I'll have to see it in practice.
It's so minute. I'm okay with spending the last 3.5 minutes talking about that because of how dumb it sounds. Like, if a game has some bad components, harp on the bad components. I will harp on the fact that yellow and gold are hard to see when both are metallic and metal.
That's funny though. It's not usually components that Stone Maier Games.
I mean, his last name is, but
yeah, that they get dinged on like components. That's not their problem usually. Like they overproduce everything.
I'm fine with that,
including Red Rising. Like this game is overproduced.
Well, no, it's only overproduced on the collector's edition.
Okay, yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think it's overproduced.
Okay, but it's usually not people saying their components have problems. They're bad components.
Right.
It's usually the opposite. Like, you did way too much. This game is too expensive for what it is.
Right, yes. And I think that is a thing some of the games have suffered from, especially the collector's editions or whatever. But, I mean, not that they're super... It's not like Vindication where it's like $100 game for no reason because it has 45 miniatures that don't do anything. But
right.
Great game, by the way. You can check out a review. We did it a few months ago. Anyway... We're going to wrap this up. This has been the longest review we've ever done. So,
all right.
Any final thoughts? Final thoughts.
It was all right. It's all right. It's not my thing, but it's okay.
I'm really excited about it. That's why I end up buying it. So,
fair enough.
All right. Anyway, that is Red Rising. 125 episodes are done, George.
Bam.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. We want to thank you again for tuning in to episode 125 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. This episode was recorded on May 20th, 2021. Please send us questions and comments to MeepleCore@gmail.com. Follow MeepleCore on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Check out video versions of the show on youtube.com/MeepleCore. And until next time, this is Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple.
George Breden.
Keep on rocking and rolling dice.